Hi guys, welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer, and something a little bit different today because there seems to be a lot going on in the transfer market today, and we like to report on all clubs on this channel. You know, we are a general football channel, so I didn't want to just pick one of the transfer stories and one club. I wanted to pick a whole host of the news that we're getting, and I wanted to focus on the non-big six because as guys outside of the big six, let's face it, we don't get enough attention. We don't get enough noise. Of course, this is something different, guys. So if you do enjoy the video, please do let me know in the comments if you'd like me to keep doing these type of videos. They're going to be short, sweet, and let you know what's going on with all the other clubs, including me giving my opinion on your own transfers that are happening. And obviously, if you are also new and like it, please do hit that like button and subscribe as well. But let's go jumping straight into this. And we're going to start off with Wolves, my club, because we have announced our first signing of the transfer window in terms of a senior professional, and that is Matt Doherty, who has rejoined the club on a 3-year deal. Now, to me, the 3-year deal seems a little bit of a long contract, given how he's been performing over the past couple of years since going to Spurs, and then obviously had a torrid time at Atletico Madrid. In essence, though, this is one just to fill out the squad, give some more options. Of course, he's a very different player to our other right-back choice, Semedo. And I think, you know, it's just bringing in experience. So for context, some Wolves fans watching this might already know this, but for some context, Wolves, like a lot of clubs, are facing financial fair play difficulties. It's been said that we've got to make a profit in this summer transfer window. So we're going to see a smarter, maybe needing to move to a smarter way of doing business. Hence why we're also linked with the likes of Aaron Cresswell for a cut price fee of 5 million. But we're also going to try and add some young quality to the squad as well. Hence why you may see that we're heavily linked with a £25 million potential move for Bristol City midfielder Alex Scott. But in essence, this is one that's going to add to our squad. It's going to be another body in. And obviously, he spent a long time at Wolves, 10 years in his first stint. So overall, I'm happy enough with this transfer. I'm not absolutely celebrating. I haven't got out the champagne bottle. But welcome back, Doherty. Hope it goes well. Let's jump into another club. And we're going to speak about Burnley. Obviously, Vincent Kompany's championship side, Burnley, dominated the championship, and they're coming up not wanting to go back down. And I think this is a really good move. Obviously, the under-21 England goalkeeper, James Trafford, who was the absolute hero for England earlier this summer in that tournament, is the signing that Burnley have made. I think around the £15 million price mark too for a very young keeper, but has had some good experience. Of course, last season he was playing in League One with Bolton, but he was the star of the show for them and one of the, if not, I'd say the best keeper in the league. It's going to be obviously a new test for him playing at the Premier League level, but I like this signing for Burnley. I really do. You do wonder, obviously, with the Man City connections that Kompany has, maybe this has helped the transfer a little to get what is an England international in terms of under-21s. And I imagine potentially it won't be too long before he's integrated to the England setup if he carries on performing how he has been for club and country over the past year or so. Good signing for Burnley. I like this one. Let's talk about a very interesting story that's come up, though, for Everton. And this might be a signing that some Everton fans like, others maybe not so much. Amrat Danjuma is potentially going to join the club on a loan for the season. Now, there's two sides to this, and obviously I've brought up him as signing for Tottenham in January because it was so significant. He was supposed to go to Everton. It was all but done. We're led to believe that he may have even had photos in the Everton shirt already. Be interesting if he does sign, if they'll just try and use those photos instead of a new photo shoot. But last minute, changed his mind, went to Tottenham. Unsurprisingly, he barely got any game time there, really didn't make much of an impression, and no surprise that they then didn't want to sign him after. It does look like he could be going on loan, though, for the season to Everton, who, if I was an Everton fan, one part of me would be very angry about this. I mean, this is a guy that basically rejected them to go to Tottenham, but there is the other side. Everton, like a lot of other clubs, like pretty much every club I'm going to speak about in this video, have got financial fair play issues. It's going to be a loan signing. It's obviously someone that they've scouted for some period of time. They've been on Everton's watch list for some period of time. And if he comes in and hits the ground running, things might be quickly forgot about. I mean, of course, maybe for him, the opportunity to play for Spurs, no disrespect to Everton, but could have been last season where Everton found themselves when Spurs came in for him. Can you really blame him too much? But at the same time, I fully understand from an Everton perspective, it's not really something you want. Someone that's rejected your club for another one already, then coming back the next transfer window. He'll need to hit the ground running, but if he does, I do back the Toffees to eventually get behind him. Everton fans, let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I think myself and others might be interested to know what you make of this transfer. Let's move on to one that is pretty much confirmed, and that is obviously Leicester's Harvey Barnes, who is now looking to move to Newcastle. Believe that the fee is going to be around the £35 million mark. A very good bit of business for Newcastle. Of course, even Newcastle admitting financial fair play issues and the way that they're having to negate the market. Of course, the big money signing that was Tonali has already come in. He's going to add a lot to Newcastle's midfield. This is going to be another option to add to the attacking side of the midfield, playing out on the wing. We know what he can do in the Premier League already. Obviously, he didn't have the greatest of seasons with Leicester last year, but let's face it, the whole of that squad arguably underperformed. And I would say that this is a very good signing. Of course, to do this signing, they've had to get rid of Saint Maximin, who is one of the lucky footballers that's had a big money offer to go to the Saudi League. We're seeing this more and more now. But in general, I like this swap. I think it's a good trade. And I think the problem with Saint Maximin, on his day, absolutely unstoppable. But injuries did happen, and they did happen quite consistently as well. So I think this is a good way to obviously boost the squad. They're going to need bodies in Newcastle because the Champions League awaits, and they're still going to want to be competitive in the Premier League. I imagine there won't be too many Newcastle fans disappointed in this one. Overall, a very good signing. Talking about a good signing, let's move on to Aston Villa now, because it looks like they've finally are going to get their man. Obviously, a player that has been on the radar for some time now, DRB. This is a really good signing for me. We don't know quite yet what the price tag's going to be. Leverkusen apparently putting £50 million as his asking price. I imagine it'll be a touch less than that, but it is expected to be more than the transfer record fee for Aston Villa, which I believe currently stands at around 40 million, if I'm not mistaken, for Buendia. It's expected to break that record. What are you going to get with this? You're going to get a very dynamic player, a pacey player, a player that's going to excite the fans. He can add goals, he can add assists. There's been a whole host of clubs that have been reportedly interested in this guy over the past season or two. The likes of Liverpool, the likes of Man United, the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal. The list can go on. At some point, all the big clubs have basically been linked to this guy. So it seems like a really good move for Aston Villa as they get back into playing European football. Another great bit of business for Aston Villa. It looks like you guys are spending the cash, and it looks like you could be in for a very good, another competitive season of Premier League football next season. Imagine if you're a Villa fan, you're probably feeling very good at the moment. And let's talk about this. Let's talk about Fulham, because Marco Nautovic, what am I going on about? Marco Silva and obviously Mitrovic. That's why I ended up getting those, putting those two names together there to find an old West Ham player. Yeah, it looks like these two could be both moving to Saudi Arabia. Very interesting circumstances. We're led to believe that Marco Silva has been offered a big £40 million move for himself to go and manage in Saudi Arabia, which he's really considering. Only got 1 year left on his contract, and it's believed that he's got a buyout clause of just £6 million, with the Saudi team are not afraid to exercise should he want to leave. It also begs the question of what's happening with the other man in the picture, Mitrovic, because twice Fulham have rejected bids from Saudi Arabia for Mitrovic. He wants to go. He's apparently gone as far as saying that he will never play for Fulham again. That is a story that's, I mean, it's not official, but it's come out that he's told his family he will not be playing for Fulham again. Really interesting time for Fulham. Obviously, you've got João Palhinha. He's also being poached by West Ham. you do worry, is second season syndrome going to hit Fulham, or are they going to be okay? Guys, that is a quick roundup of the things that happened today in the Premier League news. As I said, this is a new type of video. We usually just cover one transfer, one club. So I really do fancy getting your feedback. Let me know which kind of style of video you would prefer. And not long now until Premier League predictions return. Obviously, our season Premier League predictions will be out in a couple of weeks, as well as content on the EFL Championship and Championship predictions and just loads of other content. So do look out for it. Please do subscribe. We're trying to hit that 5,000 subscribers. So if you can help us out with that, and I'll catch you all soon. Sorry for the lack of videos, but we're coming back. Take care. Goodbye.